Salam te Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. My guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is Aisha Ghazi. Aisha is a documentary filmmaker and political researcher based in London. Her work sits with the history of the subcontinent, how it was partitioned, what that produced, and the political forces that are still running through it. She spent years in this material, and her films have found large audiences on YouTube. Last year, she founded I Resist Global, a UK community interest company set up to produce documentary work on human rights and to train other people to make it. Her earlier films include 71 Slaughterhouse, but the reason many of you are here is her most recent film, Hindutva Deciphered. I want to say something about why I asked her to come on. There's a great deal being made about Hindutva right now, articles, documentaries, threads. Most of it takes one piece of the thing and treats that piece as the whole. Aisha's film does something different. It goes back to the origins, follows the ideology forward, and assembles the structure rather than a fragment of it. Of everything I have watched on this subject, hers is the one that actually connects the pieces. We are going to spend the next hour and a half on that film, where this ideology came from, how it operates, what it looks like from outside India, and how she built the case. Later on, I'm going to put some harder questions to her, the objections her critics raise, and give her the floor to answer them directly. After we finish, we'll also have a space which is open, Twitter space, to take questions from you. Okay, with that, let me welcome Aisha. Aisha, thank you for joining us, and for some thank you for making time, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, it's great to see you, Aisha. And Aisha, for people meeting people meeting your work for the first time, my first question is, how did you come to this documentary filmmaking piece itself? Like, tell us about that. What pulled you towards subcontinental history? You have so many documentaries now on subcontinental history, plus filmmaking, and then you are a lawyer. Just tell us how you ended up doing all this stuff.
That is a very interesting journey for myself as well. From my academic background, all my academic years, I had been studying biology, and that is my first passion. I did MSc in medical molecular biology, and I was very keen on working on obviously in my own field, molecular biology. But then we were growing up in the age of war on terror. We saw what was happening during war on terror, and it's impossible for a person who has got a bit of humanity in him not to be affected by it. So that was, I think, I'll give credit to war on terror, what we were witnessing at that time. That made me think about, coming towards documentary filmmaking, because I was witnessing what's happening in drone attacks in Pakistan. And that was around 2010 and 2011. And I thought I will just make one documentary because I want to document everything that is happening there. And that is it. So I had no resources. So I learned documentary filmmaking. I learned editing. I learned everything. And I thought this is just going to be the one-time thing, and that is it. But then, since 2013, the things just are just going on and on and on. And I had been working in war and conflict zones around the world. I have worked with Palestinians, I have worked with Rohingyas, I have worked with Afghan refugees, I have worked with Bihari refugees who are the worst case of Indian sponsored genocide.
Yeah.
And then social psychological side of all the conflicts. If there is a conflict, there is obviously a
Yeah.
grassroots level of psychology that has been sometimes very, very delicately, prepared for towards the genocide. That's exactly what is happening in India right now. Things are
Yeah.
going genocide. So that is all my research area, and that is what my interest is.
Yeah.
And subcontinent is obviously that I belong to subcontinent. I belong to Pakistan. My family was from Punjab, India, and they migrated in 1947. So that's
Amritsar,
all.
was your family from Amritsar?
Yes,
I,
yes,
AI told me that. Sorry for.
yes.
Where is she? I asked AI, is she Punjabi? And they came back, yeah, she's from Amritsar. I said, okay.
Right, right, right. So obviously that is close to my heart. So this is how I started with first documentary, and it's still going on. And then law, it came in the middle because I had to do law because there had to be some retirement plan. So that is all.
Got it. Yeah, no, it's interesting you talked about Bihari aspect and the genocide of the
You must
Bihari.
watch that documentary, 71 Slaughterhouse. It's
Yeah.
it's something very different.
Yeah, we have to talk about that documentary in some other episode. That's my next kind of project. But
Uh-huh.
and you made documentaries on multiple subjects, But and this one, in my view, is actually picking up a lot of audience now. A lot of people are noticing it. How come you picked up this subject of Hindutva? How did that happen?
Because I think this is something my whole work is, if you see my whole work, I don't do commercial work in documentary filmmaking. So my whole work is an kind of educational charity. I That's what I call it. It's an intellectual charity. So I just pick the subjects that people don't really know about. Like I was talking about Indian sponsored genocide in East Pakistan. People don't know about this fact, that what happened there and how did it work. Then I worked on Chain in the Web. There is a whole propaganda of forced conversions and this and that. People don't know the reality, and that is the reason I picked up this subject, because I thought people don't know anything about Hindutva at all.
Mm,
Especially when we talk about Pakistan. Pakistan has people in Pakistan has no idea about it. No idea. If I say no idea about it, it means no idea.
no
They just
idea.
know there are some people who are very, very extremist, very arrogant, and they are doing this and that to Muslims
Yeah.
and Christians and Sikhs in India. But that is it. So as long as it is within the boundaries of India, they don't have anything to do with it. So that is
Mm,
the basic concept. And around the world, it is the same thing around the world. People don't know what is Hindutva, how it
mm.
is working. So that is why I picked up this subject. That it will be, I think, nice to create some awareness about it.
Yeah, we have something in common. We were talking earlier as well. Like, if you see, I have kind of a similar project. You see, my account is called FTW Harjeet. It is Finding Truth with Harjeet. So my
Right,
endeavor is to help people find the real line, the true line, and the truth, rather than the propaganda and the perceptions, which, as your work is already doing, is kind of
right.
busting these popular myths, right, and propagandas. And yeah, let's dive deep into the film that you have. And the subject that it touches, Aisha, which is Hindutva nationalism.
Hmm.
Many people link Hindutva nationalism or Hindu kind of fascist ideas primarily in RSS or BJP,
Hmm.
like a right wing phenomena in India. But your
Yeah.
documentary reaches far back and it links it to the very foundation of the Indian state. Um, where it talks about, the secular liberals of India were the main originators of this. So where, in your view, did actually this Hindutva nationalism or fascism actually start?
Very interesting question. Very, very interesting question. Because there is generally people think there is a very big demarcation between the liberals, the Congress, I would say, and the BJP. But I will just take you back to, if just we just go back to 1947 and little bit back from
Mm,
1947, a decade before that. What was happening? What was Savarkar's idea? Let's begin with
mm,
this. What was Savarkar's idea? He was saying, okay, who is Hindu? He was redefining Hindu. What is Hindutva? And he based it on cultural and racial identity.
mm,
No, there was no religion involved. So he said the Hindu identity, Hindutva identity, is all about culture and racial identity. And And then the Keshav Baliram, he came in and he made a paramilitary style organization, right? And then there one more character there. His name was Munje, and he met Mussolini,
Mm.
wasn't it? He met Mussolini, and
Oh,
he got
yeah, yeah, yeah. He met
this
Mussolini,
is
correct. Mm.
yeah, Mussolini. So he got the idea. Okay, this is the practical implementation of what we are thinking. So this is they got it from. So what was Mussolini's ideology?
Mm.
He was impressed from. What was Mussolini's ideology? It was about democracy and socialism and liberalism and this and that. Nothing works. It is just one man's power, and they were just promoting the idea that unify the nation on the basis of culture and history, historical superiority. So that is
Oh.
all about it. But you see, if you see Gandhi, if you see Gandhi,
Mm.
and now you see Gandhi, who is Gandhi supporting Arya Samaj? Arya Samaj, apparently, they had just some affiliation with RSS, but nobody knows that RSS basically was very much impressed with Arya Samaj, and the whole idea of RSS Hindutva was rooted
Right.
in Arya Samaj. And
Mm.
Gandhi was supporting Arya Samaj.
Yeah.
And Arya Samaj is the organization that started this Shuddhi, isn't it? They
Shuddhikaran.
started they
Yeah,
started converting.
they are the original Shuddhikaran people. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Exactly. They are the people, and Gandhi was with them. Gandhi, it is historical fact. You can check historical documents. You can check everything. And they said, oh no, 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 I do not agree with this, but I agree with this. That is why I support Arya Samaj.
Mm.
No, you can make lots of people fool for lots of time, but not all the time. So
No, no, no.
obviously, people revisit history, and people can see things with their own eyes. Sometimes they take off the glasses that you want them to wear. So
Mm.
Arya Samaj and Gandhi had a very close affiliation with each other, and RSS is rooted in Arya Samaj. So
Mm.
there is a connection between Congress, the Gandhi, the very peaceful man, what we call
I,
him, Mahatma,
yeah,
and then
I
there
think
is Arya Samaj who is forcing people to convert, and they are saying Shuddhi. Shuddhi means you are not you are not pure until you become Hindu. And
yeah,
then the same Arya Samaj was campaigning for Sankatan. They were giving military style training, and
training.
then they are supported by Gandhi, who is known for his very peaceful and just only political, campaign, where
Mm.
we do not believe in violence and this and that. But he supports Arya Samaj, and
Mm.
Arya Samaj campaigns for Sanktan. So what is going on? You can see what is going on. So there is a very big connection, and that is not the only thing I would say. That is the ideological connection. If you see from right from the beginning, now BJP is in the government, RSS is in the government, and they
Mm.
openly say, and they have put Akhand Bharat map in their parliament,
Mm.
which they knew is going to be very, very offensive for all the neighbors and
Mm.
beyond that. But they did it, and they openly did it. But what was Congress doing? Congress
Mm.
was doing the same thing. How did
Yeah.
they engulf the Sikkim?
Yeah.
It was a political.
Junagadh, Hyderabad, Sikkim,
Look at
Goa,
Hyderabad, look at Kashmir, forget about
Kashmir.
everything. Nagaland,
Yeah.
Nagaland. They wanted their separate country, and they announced it. They
Yeah.
announced it. They said, "No, no, no, we don't want to be with you," because if you see, Nagaland has nothing to do with mainland. This cow belt, they have nothing to do
Yeah.
with it. There
Yeah.
is no similarity. So there was no point that people sitting in the Modi belt are going to govern the Nagaland people. So it was a very very legitimate demand. But have you
Yeah.
ever heard about Nagaland? No, there's nothing. So they just
Yeah.
they
Or
were making
partition
it.
of Punjab. Or partition of Punjab.
It,
I was
yeah.
asking AI if Punjab was not partitioned and all Group B states had gone to Pakistan, which is undivided Punjab and Kashmir. The things would have been very different. Pakistan would have 40% non-Muslim people. It would have been a very, very different state, and Delhi would not have been a power center because Pakistan would have covered Delhi by three sides. Punjab was still Delhi at that point in time. You're absolutely right. I'm very fascinated that you have made that connection. Just to give you
And
another.
it's not just about that. It is not just about what they were doing in Junagadh and they were what they were doing in Nagaland, and how they were doing Shuddhi and Sangathan, and how through the syllabus they were telling that Muslims are Dalits and this and that and that. Look what Indira Gandhi did. And it's not just about Gandhi. It
Mm,
is about Nehru family. Look what they did. What
Hmm.
Indira Gandhi did, what she did for Bangladesh. Why did she create Bangladesh? She was making a Khand Bharat.
Yep.
And what she did, and very, very important thing is, look, what she did in emergency, during emergency, how many, 6 million something people were forced sterilized.
Yeah.
So, there is a big question. If any one of them out of those 6 millions were Brahmin, that is
Yeah.
a very big question for people who actually know this, who have, access to the documentation. I would be really surprised if even one of them would be Brahmin. So
I can tell you most.
they were
They're
all,
all
they were all
Muslims and Dalits. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So 6 million people, they had been forced, okay, we have to, there is an emergency and there is a population emergency and we have to, force sterilization. But somebody has to look at those documents, how many the Brahmins were included in it. So
Yeah.
their treatment of their caste system, their treatment of Dalits and everything, it's the same.
Yeah. I
Look
think
what is
this.
happening in Modi's India with Dalits. Look at the
Yeah.
rate of violence, how much it has increased. Okay, they needed some, these people to do the little minion things like break the Babri Masjid. Okay, then we will make a Ram Mandir and you will not be allowed in it. So that is
Mm.
another dimension that I have covered in the documentary actually. But this is all the same.
So this disguised form of Hindutva, which comes in this secular, English-speaking, scientific-minded, democratic India, is that not more dangerous for the world than like the pure kind of rabid Hindutva nationalism that BJP, and I think your documentary hints at that what BJP has done or what Modi has done is basically taken the mask off. In a
I think
way,
that
it's not a service to the whole cause.
it is not just there, but rather around the world. Because I think there had been a bit too much, when you struggle for something, they started in 1925 and they completed their 100 years. And when you see such an immense success story, you had been banned in India, then your Modi had been banned in America, and then everything reversed. Then you came to the power, then you came to the absolute power, and then this is the third time you are in power. And then Joe Biden is, bringing you in for for your speech in Congress and everything. So you believe that that is it. Now nobody can touch us. So you just play on, you do not need to hide anything. You believe that now we don't need to hide anything. So
Hmm.
this is where they are taking their mask off. So they are now, when they went beyond their limits, doing terrorism in Canada, killing Sikhs in Canada, killing people in Pakistan, and then making, open statements about it. कि घर में घुस के मारेंगे. This was the statement of Modi. So this is where they are pulling their own mask off. So they are
Yeah.
trying to show people what people didn't know. Me and people like me and you and people in Canada and people in US and people in UK would not have known them if they had not shown themselves. So this
Definitely.
is, I think, a great service. If you know, there is a very recent research from SOAS University along with some other universities that have recommended that you have to put RSS and Hindutva in extremist ideologies. They had been surviving since 1925, and they had been in UK, registered in UK HSS under the name of HSS for, I think, last half a century. Nobody knew them. So
Hmm.
they are pulling the mask off themselves, which is a great service to us.
Yeah, and you talked about Gandhi, right? And the Gandhi's links with the RS Samaj and ideologically they are aligned. And I was when I was doing my own research, I was flabbergasted when I actually started reading Gandhi himself. In his collected verse of Gandhi, Aisha, he actually writes that his supreme aim in life is to reinstall the pristine form of Varnashram back in India. His beef, he says, with the Englishman is that they have allowed anybody to take on any profession and disturbed the balance in society. So, and he's saying is that the right way to structure society is that your profession should be fixed by your birth. A Brahmin should do a Brahmin job, and then people say, oh, what about if I want to do this? You can take it as a hobby, but not your livelihood. And so, and then people say, oh, he was against caste. But when you read that, what he was against was subdivision among Brahmins into multiple castes. So he said, okay, it's all should be one. Brahmins should be one. Kshatriyas should be one. Shudras should be one. It is mind boggling. And people are treating that person as a non-violent, peaceful guy. How come such a large myth still persist? Like, has Have you realized, like in your documentary filmmaking, like what is this about sociology? Is this something about psychology that people don't read the finer detail?
The biggest problem about documentary is that it's time limited. So you can't really explore everything in it. What you are
Mm.
saying, it is something very, very amazing, and I was amazed to know that the only person who was living in the times of Gandhi, who actually understood him, was Jinnah.
Jinnah, correct.
Jinnah, because Gandhi wanted to be, I am the leader of everyone. But Jinnah said, no, you are the leader of Hindus. And they
Mm.
were very, very much offended by it. Rather, when Gandhi was killed, this is what Jinnah wrote in his, as a message. And
Mm.
Hindus were very much offended about it. Oh, why did Jinnah say that? He did not leave his partiality. He called him Hindu leader, although he was a leader for everyone. That was not the case. And
What did
what
he?
you
What
are
did he
saying,
write? What did he write in his book? I'm interested. I'm
that
not
he
read.
was a great leader for Hindus.
Ah,
And
okay.
they
Ah,
were
that's
offended
cool.
that why did he call them a Hindu leader?
Okay, so they were
Because,
complaining. Right?
because he wanted to present, look, no, 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 I have Muslims, I have Abul Kalam Azad as well, I have this. So I am the leader of everyone. And
Mm.
Jinnah said, no, thank you, you are the leader of Hindus. So he was the only one who was understanding
What's going on?
Gandhi in his times. And what you are saying, that people think that he was anti-caste because, look at the dramas Gandhi was doing. He was washing the feet of Dalits.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
people who
yeah.
had been considered untouchable, or who don't know what treatment, then what kind of treatment he gave to himself after doing that. But he was washing the feet of Dalits, and that's exactly what BJP did when they
Mm.
were using Dalits in these times, when they Rath Yatra, and then they were demolishing Babri Masjid, and now they are all these cow vigilantes and Lahab Jihad and this and that. They're all their foot soldiers. They are all Dalits because they are
Correct.
just in some other world. They think, oh, now this is our turn. We had been subjugated because you direct the hatred. So we
Mm.
had been subjugated by Muslims for thousands of years, and now we are empowered. And
Mm.
now we are taking a revenge. They don't even know that they are basically serving the same people who had enslaved them for
Correct.
thousands of years. And their slavery is not going anywhere. Just
Mm.
one question: if it was okay for Dalits to demolish Babri Masjid, it was such a sacred place for them, and this and that. Why are
Mm.
they not allowed to? They're allowed to demolish it, but they're not allowed to go
Worship.
in around.
Correct.
So what is this?
Is this
So
more like that?
he was doing.
But isn't it like brilliant? Like you keep a population so subjugated and so degraded, and then you give them a semblance of some bit of identity and respect. That you will gain respect. You are part of us if you stand with us and demolish this mosque. So they feel uplifted in that act of actually demolishing the mosque. And so,
Exactly.
wow,
Exactly. And
this
they
is
are enthralled. They are not just feeling part of it. They are feeling like there is some, magnificent, they are living some magnificent dream that could never happen in 1,000 years. They are so powerful. They are so, and they had been given an enemy. Look, these are they were your enemies. The Mughals were your enemies, and now is the time of your triumph. You are, demolishing their mosque, and you are doing this and that, and you are just taking revenge of 1,000 years. They are not in right state of mind. They are in completely delusional. There is just not one type of drug that you take, and they are not just physical form of drug. There is a psychological drug as well,
psychological
where,
drug.
you,
Yeah.
where everything is redefined for you. Your enemies are redefined, and your happiness is redefined, your sadness is redefined. And when you are in that state of mind, you do not even realize that you are drugged. So
Mm.
this is the whole population of, I- they win with majority votes. So I would say that hardly hardly a little percentage knows what they are
Mm.
drugged with. Even in
Mm.
India, I feel sorry for those people. Look at the poverty rate. Look at the
Mm.
people. Look at the level people are living at. Look at the
Mm.
starvation rate. But they are happy that Modi is there, and they are very happy that, oh, we are killing Muslims. We are doing this to Sikhs. We are not going to allow any church and this and that. They are not bothered about what is going on with them. So what
Yeah.
is this state of mind? This is only a
Is this like
intoxication.
a intoxication? You're absolutely right, right? So when I saw, like, I was amazed. Like in India, it's now become a regular feature. You will gather 50,000 unemployed Dalit youth. They will be intoxicated with alcohol. They'll go outside a mosque they'll put on this vulgar music, okay, and then they will chant like slogans and Bollywood songs, like derogatory songs challenging the Muslims. There are hardly some Muslims inside who are also their same people, same tribe, same caste. They are sitting inside, they're just Muslims. And it feels as if it is like a community building activity, like we go to, I almost felt like, like we go to Gurdwara, or like Christians go to church. For these people, they have made it like their community building activity, that we'll get together, whether on social media, we'll get together to degrade others or go outside their mosque. And surprisingly, the same thing your documentary touches upon is starting to happening in UK. Like there are 300, 400 Hindu youth who came outside and challenged, like outside mosques. Is that true? Like I'm really surprised when I saw that in
Yes.
UK you have 400 youth coming outside a mosque and trying to kind of instigate, or God knows what they were trying to do.
You will be surprised to know. Maybe you will not be surprised, and you already know that, but so many people don't know that. This is not something very new, and this is not just happening in BJP's, power.
Mm.
This was happening even before partition. Even
Right.
before partition, when the Congress won the elections before the partition, this is exactly what they were doing wherever they won.
Mm.
You must watch my documentary, Sarhad, the Boundary Line. That is about why Pakistan was created.
Mm.
So that is the eyewitness
That's
account
the
of
one I
people
have
who,
not watched. I have to watch that. Yeah.
yeah, when there are
Yeah.
people who actually witnessed those times, they are telling themselves that this is what they did when the Congress won. What they
Mm.
did, that opened the eyes for Muslims, that this, if they're going to win in the whole, if they are handed over the power in the whole of India, this is
Mm.
exactly what they are going to do. So this is exactly what they were doing before partition, wherever they
Before.
got power. They were
Mm.
going outside mosques, and they were exactly at the time of namaz, they were doing playing music, and they were doing all their shuddhi things and their sangathan things and their syllabus changes. Okay, we cannot, finish your language, so we will bring in something like Gandhi's idea. Very brilliant brain he was. Okay, okay, no Hindi, we will do it Hindustani. So it is in the mix of Urdu, and so he was. If you can't finish somebody, just blur out boundaries, and then we'll, This is what they did with Buddhism. This is what they tried to do with Sikhism as well.
Mm.
So this is what was happening in there. And then in BJP, when it came to power, as I said, they are too overconfident that they didn't need to hide anything. So they were doing it openly in India. And then they are bringing the same thing in UK, and they are comfortable about it.
Mm.
Can you imagine a whole bus full of young people? They have got their saffron things up and their flags up, and they came, and they were smashing Muslim shops, and they were going outside mosques, and they were, doing their music things outside the mosque, and this and that, and they were asking people. It went on for a long time. They were asking people, "What's your name?" And if it is a Muslim name, they will just beat them up.
Mm.
So this is exactly what they are doing, and they are not the Hindus who had been living there for like second or third generation. These are the very new young generation
Who's
that
coming
has
from?
got all this ideology intoxication from India, and now they are the members of RSS and Hindutva, and they are
We
vigilantes.
vigilantes. We saw the same thing happen in Toronto, like in Canada. Like 4,000 of them gathered. Four to some people say 7,000, and they tried to attack the Gurdwara.
They
And it
are
was.
attacking gurdwaras in many places. Since last year, they have attacked many gurdwaras. The abrupt, fire coming out next to the in Amritsar, there is a gurdwara where you found it was
Mm.
blazed, and then in Canada, and very recently something happened in Gurdwara as well.
Mm. And Aisha, my research kind of also pointed one very peculiar trait, which was to show yourself also as a victim, like fake victim, like we see these instances, like somebody will paint graffiti on their temple. We all know, like the Sikhs will not do it. If we come to know, like I did it, like my own mom will kind of kill me. Like what kind of person that? And that's our culture. But then and now all these instances happen, and in all these instances where temples are vandalized, cameras don't work. We never get like all this cameras go off. We always know the standard story. The Australian police report came out where they said we actually suspected the Hindu groups of kind of doing it themselves. And when I was doing the partition research,
Incredible! This is incredible.
I was surprised when I was reading partition. I was doing research on partition. Many neutral British authors who had lived through Punjab, this was a common trait. They will say that the Hindu people will conduct false flag operations that, oh, like they will put their own sofa on fire and then claim Muslims have attacked and I need protection or I need this X. And I was surprised, like even then, it is something like, did your research kind of also hint, it didn't in the documentary it doesn't talk about false flags, but I'm just curious, given how deep you have gotten into it, did that aspect come out?
Yeah, no, my documentary hints to it. If you listen to Dr. Mahmood Rahman from Bangladesh,
Yeah, he talks of it.
he's mentioning that. He
Yeah.
mentioned that either they are in power,
Mm.
they either they are in power, and when they are in power, their hand is
Behave
on
like
their.
masters. Yeah.
They are the masters. They behave like the masters, and that's exactly what they were doing in English British rule times as well.
Mm.
Even they were very much fine with Muslims during the Muslim rule, and the history is there. They were very
Mm.
much fine. They were part of the rule, and
I want
wherever
to
they are.
really put it into many of the Sikhs. People don't know the 95% of the battles of our 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, were against the Hindu Rajput kings.
Right.
There was only one battle in which the Imperial Mughal army helped the Hindu kings, and they came in on the request of the Hindu Rajput king, who were kind of fighting for years. Okay, and this whole story, and people have been gaslighted so much, and the
That's
same thing
very.
later on, Guru Gobind Singh actually helped him in the war, the Mughal king. Okay, that was the level of friendship they had. The real fight was against actually the Hindu Rajput kings. But anyways, please.
I must read about it. Let me write it down for myself. I must read about it. You're mentioning something very interesting, but this is a fact. Either they are the masters or they are the victims. There is no middle state. So they just exist in two states, either the masters or the victims. This is exactly the Bangladesh is the biggest example. You see, they had been ruling Bangladesh in Hasina's time, like anything. They are so powerful. If you have visited Bangladesh, this is my personal experience. If you go to Bangladesh, because we can't experience this sort of things in Pakistan. Pakistan, no problem. People don't think they are a problem. In UK, obviously, there is something very different. Atmosphere is very different. But when you go to Bangladesh, you see the extent of their fear in people, that people do not openly talk about them in restaurants. People do not openly talk about Indian hegemony in airports, just anywhere, I would say. People are scared of India because they think every other person around them is a raw agent. This is what they have believed, this is the fear they have instilled in people of Bangladesh. So this was the level of their control in Bangladesh, right? And there was a very little time after Hasina's ouster, and there was a big campaign, India out, and this and that. Just look at the global campaign of Hindu phobia in Bangladesh. Oh, how many Hindus have been killed?
Yeah, it's
From the
phenomenal.
religious, religious people to the political people, just to the media people, everybody was saying the same thing. Oh, Hindus have been killed, Hindus have been killed, Hindus have been killed. Or they just pick one thing. If anything has happened anywhere, oh, Hindus have been killed. So this is the game they were playing with Bangladesh, and they cornered them very badly. So they are just the master. They are just the expert in this game. I think
Yeah,
we need to learn that.
yeah. I think I have a, and your documentary calls it like the biggest political or ideological movement the world has seen. I think Gurchand Singh calls it. I would say so. Like, what's your thought? Like, because like the thing that you point out that there are Hindus in Bangladesh, they're just 5-8% of the population. The whole Indian state, not just the state, the every piece of apparatus, like even their normal, educated, secular people, they naturally try doing. They know what they have to do, so they're ideologically aligned. They don't have to kind of talk to each other. They act like one organism in that sense.
Yeah.
So is that like a, yeah, how do you agree with Gurchan Singh's statement that this is a political and
100%. What
ideological?
he's saying is he's a very intelligent man. He's one of the very, very few people who have actually understood them. So he's actually 100% correct. Look, I'll just give you one example. Formally, UK has 71 cities. UK has 76 cities in the UK, right? 76 cities in the UK. And how many chapters of HSS there, Hindutva, RSS is here? That is something very interesting. 117 activity centers they have in the UK
Wow.
in 76 cities.
Wow. That
And with
reminds me
that,
of my childhood in Punjab. They used to have these Shiv Sena, Khadas, and I was looking like, what are these guys doing? I also went to one, okay, because my Hindu friend took me, oh, you come here. And now I'm growing up like, what were these guys doing teaching these small kids?
exactly this what they are doing, exactly what they were doing in India. Look at the portraits they have in their activity centers. Look at the kind of sanghatan and military training they are doing, the mental training they are doing. They are teaching them what is in the Hindustan, what is the ideology of Hindutva, what is your basically who you are. And so this is something amazing, and I'm not making up these
Mm.
numbers. 117, there's activity center that is given in their own website. I'm
Yeah,
not making it up. And
yeah,
they claim that there are 60 plus in cities, more than 60 plus cities. They have these 1117 centers, and more than 5,000 volunteers plus, 5,000 plus volunteers that they have in their
yeah.
activity centers, and their activity centers are operating on weekly basis. So you can imagine their power.
Mm.
So many people believing in that sort of reality. Look what they are doing in India, and look what they are preaching in this country, and look at the number of volunteers who are engaged with it, who are engaged with that ideology. Look at US. Their own website says it's more than 260 chapters in there.
Mm.
5 million Indians live in US. 5 million, right? Even if not all of them, obviously, they do not support Hindutva. All of them do not support Hindutva. They are very, very sensible people, and that is why we see coming out of India, whatever is coming out of India in terms of human rights, and we are reported that this is happening in there because there are very sensible people on their side of story as well. But out of 5 million, even if half of them is Hindutva,
But the big number that is, right?
look at the intensity of threat the society is living in, because they are what they are. They believe in their supremacist ideologies. They do not believe you are equal to them. Once allow them in, once you are okay with them, then we'll teach you who they
Yeah.
are.
And in documentary, like, there's one sentence. What do you think about it? It says Hindutva ideology is looking for world domination, this philosophy. What do you agree with that? And how do you think about it?
Look, I am not making this claim. I'm not making this claim. The documentary begins with this claim. Yogi Adityanath is making this claim. Right. And he is the next man after Modi. And he is saying openly that this is the century of Hindutva. That's exactly what he said. This is the century of Hindutva, and Hindutva flag will wave around the world.
Mm.
Just tell me one thing. Why would Hindutva flag go around the world when
Mm.
their whole aim is Hindi and Hindu and Hindustan?
Mm.
When their whole center of their ideology is, if it is just about India,
Mm.
it makes a different kind of sense. Okay, this is about India. If they say, okay, the Hindutva flag will wave in all corners of India, that is something very different. But
Mm.
this, when they say that Hindutva flag will wave around the globe, दुनिया के कोने कोने में लहराएगा. These are his words. So what does it mean? How should I translate it? Why should I translate it that he meant he is just saying, just don't take it serious. He's just taking up claims. And no, you have to take it serious. They were
Mm.
not serious. That is why they were making a Akhand Bharat map, and they are putting it in their parliament as a statement.
Mm.
Any other country would dare do that? No.
No. If Britain tomorrow starts saying the British flag will fly around the whole world, half of like Americans will start reacting. Okay,
Americans will
start
start
reacting.
reacting. This is exactly what Indians believe, the Hindutva people believe, that if Britain can, if Gora people can, if white people can colonize half the world,
Now it's
so
their
why
turn.
not we do that? So it's a reverse colonization. When Rishi Sunak became prime minister, did you see the Indian social media? They were saying they said it's a reverse colonization.
Yeah. Even
They
Satya
said
Nadella.
it. They I'm not making it up. They actually said it's a reverse colonization, and this is what they are aiming for. That
Yeah,
now it is our turn to rule the globe.
rule the globe.
So whatever comes in Akhand Bharat, that is fine. Some of their, as I said in the documentary as well, some of their maps include some parts of Australia as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine if
Australia is Australia, actually. Australia.
oh,
Is
yeah, yeah,
Australia.
yes.
Yeah.
There must be
And
something written in their scriptures somewhere that this was actually the name of that, and we
uh,
found some. shivling there in
No,
Australia. So
they
it's
write
all,
their scriptures on the fly, Aisha. Like somebody will write, like, because not God knows when the page gets added. So you're
yeah.
right, it could be in scripture, but not you can't date it when it was written.
No,
Like
because
now they call,
that is Hinduism.
yeah, they call even the holy Makkah. They call it Maha Makkeshwar. It's so offensive to say all this stuff, but like people need to know. And many Muslims start laughing. They say, "I said it's not a laughing
No,
matter.
this is
Serious.
something
They are
very, very
serious.
serious.
Yeah, they are making an ideological claim. They are not joking. And
They
the
are
moment they
not
have power,
joking,
they go for it.
and people are actually very stupid if they are laughing about it. This is
Yeah,
something very, very offensive, and
yeah,
this is something that should be taken as a very big threat. And
yeah,
why I am saying that, I can prove why they are serious, because look what they have done in Palestine, right? Riding on the back of Zionism, they are in Gaza now. They are in Palestine. They are in West Bank. So
mm,
I was just watching a documentary today, and he was showing the a Hindu guy was showing Hindu Indian that there are many of us here. So they bring us for us here for doing this. So the Palestinian had been, the area had been they had been expelled from there, and they are bringing in Indian Hindus to live there. So if Zionism can do that in there, they
yeah,
are, they know it. Hindutva people know it very well that maybe in future Zionism is going to do this to, Makkah, and they will be getting us here, and then we can make a claim over this and this. So this is not something they are just saying out of nowhere. They have a
yeah,
plan for it. They have a plan for it, and look at their soft power, and look at our stupidity that any mosque anywhere, even if it is India, it's Babri Masjid or any Ganwapi Masjid or whatever masjid. If they are making a claim on one masjid within India, that should be the problem of the whole Muslim world,
correct,
not just the problem of Indian Muslims.
correct. And I
If
think that's a tragedy. Like,
they will be making then their claim on Makkah is so
it,
offensive that I don't want no, don't even want to talk about it.
talk about it.
If
Yeah,
they can dare do that in India, they can
yeah.
dare do that anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah, yeah. That's why keep telling my Muslim friends, especially Pakistani friends, when I talk to them about Ayodhya, I said like it should be a legitimate military objective for Pakistani state today to kind of correct the wrong, and you are on the just. It's a just war now, But like, anyways, we'll get into that. That brings me
Yes.
to another thing. You talk about the use of culture by Hindutva, art and culture. Can you elaborate on that?
So look, if they talk about art and culture of Hindutva, obviously the places that are not directly connected to Akhand Bharat, to the idea of Akhand Bharat, right? How would they penetrate to the other countries? They cannot make a claim on UK. They cannot claim that okay, you came to India and you colonized us and you ruled over us for this many years. So now we are coming back. They will
Hmm.
not say that. So what would they say? Okay, they say, okay, let's,
Hmm.
that is the whole concept of Hindutva, and I will not just take it to Hindutva. This is how they have managed through thousands of years. Okay, if I cannot, directly attack you, let's blur the boundaries.
Hmm.
That's what they did in religion. That is what they did in culture. That is what they did in art. That is what they did in every aspect of the human existence. How did they? Buddhism was so strong in the areas of Pakistan, where now Pakistan is in parts of India as well,
Hmm.
and in Afghanistan as well. How did they completely finish Buddhism? Buddhism had
Eliminated. Yeah.
this distinct identity. It was a different identity,
Yeah.
and they just turned it into a sect of Hinduism,
Mm,
and nobody talked about it. Nobody, spoke about it. Nobody said anything.
mm.
And then Sikhism is definitely a completely distinct religion.
Yeah.
How did they persuade, so many people to be quiet about it when they were putting it as a sect of Hinduism? So they just blurred the boundaries first. Now,
Mm,
if you go to any Hindu temples in Pakistan, for example, I went to Sindh and I was really surprised to see there are some Hindu murtis, and then there is the photo of Baba Guru Nanak. So
mm.
they are doing puja to
They're
both.
already doing that there. Yeah.
The boundaries. They have
Mm,
blurred the boundaries. So it is okay for them now to call that Sikhism is a sect of Hinduism. So this is they blur the boundaries. So now in UK they cannot obviously come directly to the political. They have a good hold in political
mm,
power corridors as well. And
mm,
now they cannot just like Jharkhand in UK. They can't just come and deny. Christianity. So what they are doing, they are just bringing to common culture. Many people in UK, because UK, most of the people, that is a Christian country, but most of the population is secular. They have
Mm,
gone away from their own religion, right? So they do not believe in anything.
mm.
Right. And if you do not believe, if you're not, tied with the hook of any religion, there is internally there is that is human nature that they
Yeah,
look for something to hook with.
yeah.
So what they're doing, they are bringing them in. They are
You can
selling
do
them.
anything basically. You can be anything, and you can be part of us, kind of.
You
That's
can
the lure,
just
right?
be anything. You can
As
just
long
be
as
anything. And the very big questionable, very big threatening idea that they are selling, very successfully selling in UK is that Hinduism is the default religion.
the default religion. So
Is
not
the
that.
that is the religion that was born with the birth of the earth. So first human that was born.
Mm,
So that is the core of human existence, human religion. If you are nothing, you are a Hindu.
you're a Hindu.
This is something very smart.
If you're
If you're not,
confused, you become you are Hindu, basically.
you are a Hindu.
Yeah. It's imagine how smart it is, right? It's how deep it is.
It's very smart. So
Yeah.
if you're
Because
nothing, and
in,
I've heard it myself, people are just talking about it, just generally talking about it. When they're talking about religions, we are atheists, we are this, and Hinduism is the oldest religion of the world. I was like, okay,
yeah,
right?
they understand the human psychology. Look, even any religion, like actual believers are 5%, okay, who have total belief in God, right? Then you have 20% who are trying to get belief in God. 70,
Yeah.
80% are just nominal people who in them it's a source of identity, culture, values. And so they target that, right? And their doubt. And
And very interesting bit is, before I forget that, look, they don't have a religion to preach because there is no religion. Hinduism is not a religion.
yeah,
Right? And many Hindus know that and they
yeah.
believe that because that is why the Savarkar he said it okay, it's a cultural and racial
Mm,
identity. He didn't say it is okay, this is a religion because Hinduism is not a religion. He knew that.
mm,
So what are they going to preach then?
mm.
They are going to preach culture.
Culture. Mm,
Culture is Hindutva, and
mm,
culture is Brahminism.
mm,
Culture is the caste hierarchy. That we
mm,
are the superior ones, we are the oldest one, we are the default religion of the world. And everybody that is born, it was, by default, he was a Hindu because they have, about religion, I would say they have taken bits from every religion. They have
mm.
taken things from Buddhism, okay, that's now ours,
Correct.
and whatever
Correct.
religion was there, there were bits of
Correct.
tribal religions. They have taken everything from there, and then they have
Yeah,
taken core ideologies from Islam as well.
yeah,
So they have made try to make a kind of a religion out of it, but there is no religion. So what are they going to preach? They are going
mm,
to preach culture.
yeah.
They are going to preach dance and singing and dance, and it's so peaceful if you sit together and if you don't do anything. I met a ISKCON member in Central London. I was feeling very sorry for him. He was born in a Christian family. He was a young guy
Mm,
from Thailand. He was born in Christian family and then he became atheist. He was telling his own story, and then he
mm,
came to UK and he was working in Central London as an accountant. So you can imagine how successful he was career
mm,
wise. And then he told me that one day I came out of the train station and I
mm.
met these people, the Hare Rama Hare Krishna people, and they, told me about the peace, how peaceful it is. And since then, I have left my job, I have left my family, I have left everything. Now I live in ISKCON temple, and I am very much in peace. I just sing and dance, and weed, and there
We,
is a free food and everything. So this is,
yeah,
you know,
it is very. And with people who watch your documentary, right? What is that one thing you would want them to take away, the viewers, like to understand by the end? If you say this is the one message they should go with, what is that one message they should understand and go with?
the very important message is that the very important message, don't take them lightly. Whatever they are saying, they really mean it. Number one. Number two, you have to stick to your religious identity, whoever you are.
Mm,
Otherwise, you will end up nothing but a Dalit, untouchable. That is it.
mm.
That is it.
I think that's a great message. What is the? We'll talk a bit about also like. Let me talk about some tough questions. I will skip some of
Yeah.
the meaty questions. Let's go to the harder question. Right, you're a Pakistani making a film critical of Hindu nationalism, so it will be an obvious charge. You know, like you are connected with Pakistan, ISI, and all. Like, what's your response? Like, you're motivated by that more than anything else.
The most important thing about my whole work, not just about this documentary, is that you cannot deny any fact that I have given in my documentary. They are well researched. I take 2 to 3 years to make one documentary. So whatever is given in the documentary, that they are fact that cannot be challenged. So wherever you fit them in nationalism, you fit them in religious ideology, you fit them in just anything. I don't mind where you fit them. As long as they are facts, I am happy about it.
Yeah, I think the truth is that matters, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
matter where it comes from. And
yes.
yeah, what's the strongest good faith criticism of your film? And what would change your mind on any part of it?
I think you are the right person to guide me on it. You are the right person to answer it because when I watched the documentary, as I said earlier before when we talked about it, that I started with a very different script and I ended up with making a very different script. I have rewritten the script so many times because I have rethought about my idea. I have written something down, then I have questioned myself, then I've gone back to research and then have come back. So I have rewritten it many, many times. So I have made all the critical questions and all the criticism on the documentary myself. So this is what I would leave for the audience. From my side, I think there is nothing that I would, if I see it as a viewer, I'll question something. Yeah, the only thing I would say that I should have elaborated a few things a bit more, but that's all.
Yeah, yeah. If you ask me, I won't. I think it's perfectly timed. It's not lengthy. Like just from the construction standpoint, I'm amazed how I think it's a rare moment. Sometimes when you create a masterpiece, the artist doesn't know that they have created a masterpiece. It just happens naturally. If you ask poets, like when they write, they say, "I don't know. I was not thinking. It just happened." Right. So I think this documentary Aisha is something like that. It's a rare kind of a, I don't know, I don't know how a human could compress all these topics in 44 minutes worth of documentary, and you did it, and you did it so beautifully. So if you ask me criticism, my criticism of it is lack of promotion for this is so deep and so
Hmm.
truthful, and I'm surprised that we don't have the Pakistani establishment backing it up. We don't have anybody backing it up, and I am kind of trying to. I'm in every space since I've watched it. I'm like, have you watched this? Have you watched this lady's work? Have you watched 71 Slaughterhouse? Like, you need to. You'll wake up. You'll get a red pill, and because the whole Pakistani nation is gaslighted about 71. But are you watching this work, or like, if I'm more kind of, it's more criticism not of you, but
Hmm.
the Pakistani quote unquote system per se. That because the
That's
documentary does say Pakistan is a challenge to India, but like people there need to do some work. Is my opinion.
no, I have, I think, given up on it. Whatever is my responsibility, I have taken up as my responsibility. I do that because I am an individual. I Resist is working now for last 10 years, 11 years. I made I Resist some 11 years ago. But, for every documentary, there is a team of volunteers that works with me. There is no permanent team. We are just people of,
Volunteers, yeah, community
yes,
basically.
like like for this documentary there are plenty of volunteers, some from India, some from UK, and my Sikh community, they had been extremely helpful, I would say, these people. And then from Bangladesh. So this is a volunteer work, and this is all what we could do. The promotion, if you know this documentary, about this documentary, it is because of me. And this is the biggest thing, that nobody is helping in promotion. So we
Yeah,
are the people who are, the volunteer people who have to promote it as well. I do not have any backing from any. Otherwise, it would have been, if there was any backing or any promotional help, it would have been anywhere.
yeah.
So,
I'm telling you this. I have not seen this level of depth, and like all these big things like Discovery, Washington Post. They come up with like, this is way better than anything. Like all that crap that Western media pumps out about India. You just need to watch this documentary. So this really needs to be promoted, and this is my urge. If somebody is watching,
thank
like,
you.
even we have to do all of us have to do our job, right? So
Yes.
I'll try to promote it as much as I can. What are you working on next, Aisha? What is the next project?
There are a few things in my mind that I really, really want to do. And one of them is documenting Sikh genocide in 1984. That is something very close to my heart because I have worked on, Muslim genocide in 1947 and how it happened. And there are many, many questions left from that study. As we were saying that now you were talking about Australia, that Australia told that there are some false flag operations they are doing just to be, show themselves as the victims and this and that. And that is what I noticed in 1947 documents as well, that there were many, many Hindus who were adopting Sikh religion. And then we saw a huge genocide of Muslims, a huge massacre of Muslims. So who was actually doing that? So there are some questions about that, and that because that part of Punjab is very close to my heart. So this is the genocide that I wish to document myself as well. I know there is some work that has been done about it, but I believe as a third person, all the work that has been done on it is done by Sikhs. So as a third person, I
Yeah,
think it will be a big contribution if I can do to
yeah,
document this genocide. And there
yeah,
are some other, I want to work on colonialism. Rather, I would ask for volunteers if people want to be, part of the research or part of the filming team or anything.
yeah,
I would be very glad. I want to work on colonialism.
yeah. No, you have my full support at least, and
Thank you
anybody I
so
can
much. That
find.
means a lot to me.
And, yeah, and I'm telling you, like and you were on the right topic, the '84 genocide, and what happened after that, because I lived through that time period.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
phenomenal.
What was happening before that and what is happening since then, what happened after that, nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows
Only the
about it.
Sikh community knows about it. That
Yeah,
is it.
yeah.
That is it.
And very few people have done it, and some good books have been written. Like there's a book by the lady who actually tried. She's an anthropologist. I have her book. It's called Faith and Nation. She
Right.
thought she would make it a project to go and write about what's happening. Like she was in India in '90s, early '90s, on just doing her PhD thesis. She took
Mhm.
made a mistake of picking up the Sikh movement, and she was gang raped there, molested, and then she came back and she wrote that book. Amazing story. Yeah.
Right,
Uh,
I have noted it down. I'll look for it.
yeah. Let me see if I can find that book here. Uh, okay. Yeah, it's a very nice book, and I have never been able to read that book fully. Um okay. Okay. Yeah, I will text you the name of that book. And
Right.
she wrote it because of her own experience. So she interviewed all the women who have been tortured in the police custody and raped and molested, and about their experiences.
Right.
It's called
Right.
Fighting for Faith and Nation. Uh, you can't read that book as a Sikh. I tried reading it, like after
And something very important
the Sikhs
that
cannot express it because it's so painful.
I can feel it because I have worked on Santalis. You must watch my documentary on Santalis. That is the eyewitness account of Muslim massacre in there and what the women went through and what was happening exactly in there. That is something that changed me forever.
Yeah,
So I know how sensitive it can be. But
yeah,
something very, very important that I want to tell on your platform to you as well and as well as your viewers, that India is on the campaign of removing all this sort of books. Now, what happened in Kashmir? It's something remarkable. They have deleted all the way. They have taken up all the books from their book festival. They have removed the books that they didn't want people to know, and they are making unimaginable changes in their digital archives. So many journalistic work, so much of journalistic work that was available earlier in Kashmir that is not available anymore. So they are just removing the history. They are just removing the books from your, custody. So you need to look after the books that had been written about it and any material that that is about history. They are just they are removing everything from archives. So we need to look after that.
Yeah, I think we really need to, and I think that makes even the work of preserving whatever is there on the Pakistani side.
Yes,
We are
just buy
lucky in
things, whatever is
Pakistan that
available in the market,
yeah,
and Pakistan will wake up when it is, I think, too late.
mm,
That
yeah,
is very sad. Obviously, being a Pakistani and very dedicated Pakistani, I would openly say after my religion, I love Pakistan the most. I would
yeah,
openly say. But it is very unfortunate because we are living in a very comfort zone. And when you
mm,
are living in a comfort zone, you cannot think beyond it.
mm,
You do
yeah,
not want to think about it. You don't need to think about it. So we are
yeah. There is
living in a
this,
comfort
there
zone.
is a false sense of security and assumption that India is not like in my
That nothing can
analysis,
happen. Yeah.
and in my
So that
analysis,
is why
most
you
of
can see the cultural influx in Pakistan, the Hindutva cultural influx in Pakistan. Yeah, can you see? I've just made some points in my documentary, but there is a whole documentary that can be made on it. Rather, I mentioned it in my previous documentary, Sarhad the Boundary Line as well, that
mm,
how it is,
yeah.
penetrating in your
There's a
mainstream.
Bollywood week or Bollywood day in Lums. I was like, what's going on out in
What's going
Pakistan?
on? What's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah, that's why it's so. Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, I think the work that you are doing is so critical. People will hopefully will wake up more people, and especially I think Pakistan. I think the Pakistani people and the Sikh nation, the Kashmiris, the Northeasterns, the Bengalis, Bangladeshis. We have to get together. People in these nations who have now understood the reality of Hindutva fascism.
And that is not a choice now.
Yeah,
That is a compulsion now.
now it's a
It's
compulsion.
not just
That's
like, okay, if we will see if we want to opt for it or not. No, it is not an option anymore.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see.
And that
Yeah,
is why we have been divided. That is why a divide had been created among us. There was a divide created that fully directed, fully manipulated, fully. It was well thought out divide created between Muslims and Sikhs in Punjab
six. Yeah,
by this massacre. And there was a divide created between Pakistan, East Pakistan, and West Pakistan. And you
yeah,
see, in that divide, both of the patterns, there is a genocide in the middle.
yeah,
So people do not even want to go beyond it. People do not even want to talk to the other part of their story because there is so much hatred for each other that people
mm.
don't even want to talk. So that is the divide that had been created, and we
But
need
the,
to
the
talk
trauma,
about it.
the trauma is so high. People don't want to talk about it.
People don't
Like
want to talk about
the
it,
trauma
and they
is
are
at
just
such a
living with the
level.
hate.
Yeah,
Yes, they are just living with the hatred that this is what happened. Then that's it. So this community is that's it community. We are not going to talk to them. We have seen what they are capable of. This
yeah,
is what Bengalis think about East Pakistan,
yeah,
West Pakistanis. This is what West Pakistan think about Bengalis. That's what Sikhs think about Muslims, and that's how Muslims think about Sikhs. Okay, we
yeah,
have seen their capabilities. No, 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 no. That is a no big no. So
yeah,
we have to understand that these divisions have been created very technically, and
yeah,
they have a purpose.
yeah.
So now we have to think beyond them. We have to see what is on the other side of the wall.
Yeah. One thing Aisha have noticed is that the Hindutva people or Indians, they're also trying to create these divisions in West. Like I go to these spaces and there are the white nationalists who are doing all this backlash against brown community, and you will literally find an Indian sitting there instigating them. Like,
That is the point. India is the biggest franchisor and biggest beneficiary of Islamophobia in the West. Whatever
correct.
was created in 9/11, that has its own purposes.
Mm,
It was oil or it was, dominance, it was whatever it was.
mm,
Obviously, there was, if you listen to the war economy, you understand what was the purposes and this and that. That is something different. So there were
mm,
just few people in the West who
mm,
benefited from war on terror. But
mm,
India as a whole country benefited from it. The
mm,
Hindutva ideology itself is it's the main beneficiary of war on terror. So
mm,
they just joined in the wagon, whatever it was, they just joined in the train, and they were the beneficiaries. And
mm,
they are not letting it go now. They are just, again and again, they are bringing up the same, oh, they are the terrorists, we are the victims, they are terrorists. Look what
mm,
they are doing with you. Look at the Tommy Robinson, what he talks about.
mm,
You know, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. He has no knowledge of history, he has no knowledge of psychology, he has no knowledge of religion. He doesn't even know about his own religion.
yeah.
His only religion, his only ideology is anti-Muslim, and
Mm,
he is totally endorsed by Zionists and
yeah.
Hindus.
This was very surprising. There was this world conference of what they called right wing nationalists, that was called in Europe. And you have Ram Madhav speaking there. And then I saw a video, phenomenal video, Vivek Ramaswamy, his video, and he's on video teaching white nationalism to Americans. He's a black Brahmin, okay, from Tamil Nadu, and he's teaching, and that reminds me of Gandhi. You read
Exactly, that was
Gandhi,
that's what I was going to say now.
you read Gandhi's work in South Africa, and he was teaching apartheid and discrimination and hate against the blacks to the white people. That Orange and
Exactly.
we are one, like these guys are the problem, and we should intermarry with them and all that stuff.
Yeah, you are the masters, we are the slaves. Where did these people come from? So they
Yeah.
are,
So do they deep inside they kind of identify with like white race? Is there something like that? Because the Varna ashram, right? If you see Varna ashram, the word Varna actually means color. Okay. So
right.
so it could be very well differentiation on based upon the skin color.
Incredible, right. Right. That's incredible. And that's exactly what you see in India as well.
Yeah. India as
You
well, right?
see this, yes, you are right. We can see that. Who are the most of the Dalits? How do
Yeah.
they look like?
Yeah.
Yes, you are very right. That is true.
Yeah, it's kind of amount of hate. Like even today, Aisha, we go to like places like Bangladeshis will come or Sikhs will come or Pakistanis will come, we'll sit together. Generally the discussion will be about issues and all. You add
Hmm.
an Indian there and now suddenly he will try to kind of inject some topic which is going to make everybody fight. And I see it like a microcosm, right? Of like what is happening at a macro level. like like
This is how they had been successful.
yeah.
It is not just about today. Look at the centuries of their history.
Mm,
How they were. I would say that, I will openly say that, and nobody can deny that. I can argue on it for hours and hours that they are the biggest beneficiaries of colonialism, British
mm,
colonialism.
mm. Yeah, that's an interesting aspect in your documentary. It says Hinduism was modern Hinduism is an outcome of British
Oh,
colonialism.
yes, yes, yes. What is Hinduism? It's not a religion. So they said, okay, this tribe believes in this, 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 this. So anybody who is a Muslim, okay, that is a distinct ideology. This person is believe in Jesus, so that is Christianity. Okay, so three Abrahamic religions, that
Mm,
is fine. Rest of everything is Hindu.
Hindu.
This is what they did.
Mm.
And these
Pers-
people, the Brahmins, they become the champions of it because they were the only educated class and
mm,
they knew how to, they were the only representatives. Because
mm.
Dalits were not allowed to, get education. So how could they become a political leader? How could they become, claim
Yeah.
leadership? So Brahmins were the leader because they were the educated people. So they
Mm,
said, oh, that's a brilliant idea. From
mm.
nowhere, we got a religion and we are the
We are
bosses.
in charge.
Yeah, and we are the majority.
Yeah, and we are the majority.
And any campaign within India that claims, okay, no, 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 we are not Hindus, we have a separate religion. That
Oh.
religion has recently been registered in India. Savna religion, with the name of Sana. You have to search with it.
Mm.
They get an opposition like anything, and from there onwards, they have just all their new laws about religion, conversions, and everything. They are just very remarkable. That's very interesting.
Yeah. They're not even allowing Sikhs to claim their separate religion. We are
No,
not even
no,
allowed to say that.
I
And it's
think that was the biggest setback for the Sikh community.
yeah.
And you don't even know, I'm not saying it from my side. Rather, I should be questioning it as well, but I do not question it openly because it might be something very offensive for some of your viewers. But there are people within the Sikh community who question who was Master Tara Singh?
Mm.
Who
Yeah.
was his real, what was his real identity when they were given such big offers from Jinnah? Why did he opt for it? Why did he opt for this?
Yeah, no, there are very, very big questions there. And you had probably seen that webinar we did. I think what happened in roundtable conference really need to be understood. I think took what stand there will explain the real cause. So
That's
here
very
we have Aga Khan with all the minorities doing minorities pact, and here you have Congress Gandhi standing alone. And then
yes.
at the Sikh leadership at that point in time took this. I need to understand why they took the stand with Congress.
Hmm.
So the Sikh leaders themselves rejected the idea of separate electorates in roundtable conference. That
Why?
doesn't make any sense, right? And I'm like, I still have to research why. Like, I am so yeah. So It could be
And they
possible.
didn't then they didn't need any Sikh participation in the process of when they were evaluating constitution and who was going to sign the constitution. They didn't care if the Sikhs signed it or not. The
Mm.
constitution was passed and it was implemented,
It was
and Sikhs
possible.
became turned into a sect of Hinduism.
Yeah. The
How
two Sikhs who were there, they didn't sign. They burned the
they
copies
didn't
of the
sign it,
constitution.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But
But did it matter? No, it didn't matter.
yeah.
It didn't matter. What
The
was being decided for them, it didn't matter for them.
the
It's
constitution making in India was a total fraud and scam per se. Like,
it
so
was
that's a
scam.
different. It's a topic.
There are so many scams. There
Yeah,
are so many scams in there.
yeah. Scam is the right word, and but yeah, I think we've been chatting a lot, Aisha. This has been great. How much time you spent? Almost an hour now, and I'll see. I have a couple of. We'll try to bring some people up to speak if they have a question, and yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, what on the next one that you're doing, yeah, I know I promised you to kind of I'll give you an article on the topic that I was speaking on partition. So I'm doing some research. Hopefully by
Yes,
next week I'll
please.
send you a first draft. Yeah,
Hmm.
but I don't have any speakers right now. Let me see if comments there. We have some. Oh yeah, there's some comments here. Let me see. um so Radvir Singh Tilo says thanks. Assistant says a good book to read is Dalit, the Black Untouchable of India by V.T. Rajeshkar. Must read book for every intellectual. Okay, Dalit,
Right.
the Untouchables of India.
Can
Okay,
you read the name again, please?
yeah, Dalit, the Black Untouchables of India,
Thank
and
you.
it is by V.T. Rajeshkar, Gyan Publication, Delhi. Okay, and then Abid Ali says division was effective in neutralizing Sikh nation. They were conned into handing over their leverage and agency to thinly veiled majoritarian dominance. And then Abid Ali also says a powerful united Punjab under significant Sikh influence was dismantled into four states since 1947: Pakistani Punjab, Indian Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal Pradesh. Yeah, there is this element of kind of, it seems, some people hint, or maybe naturally, if you look at the way things, is there also there's something not just against sex? Is there also there's some kind of a fear of the Punjabi nation per se, right? Is there
Just tell
something
me one thing.
that kind of scares the people around us?
That is very big fact. Just look at that. That is what I highly, highly appreciate about Sikh community. Look, there are many, 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 many people who are not very happy with Hindutva within India.
Mm,
Right? There are Hindus who are not happy with Hindutva. There are people on their other belt, other side of the belt, beyond Bangladesh, the whole, Seven Sisters belt. They are very, very, unhappy with the rule that is being done from cow belt and all that. And then there are enforced, you know, the cow protection and this and that. Half the
mm,
India we eat beef and this and that, all that,
mm,
right? And then there are separatist movements. How many? 20, around 23 separatist movements within India.
mm,
Nobody can reach the level of Sikhs the way they have challenged them for
mm,
their religion, for their existence, for their identity, for the
mm,
wrongs that had been done to them.
mm,
That is something very impressive, I would say. And this is not just about Hinduism, or this is not just about India.
mm,
In Jallianwala Bagh, so many people were killed.
mm,
And one person just, went up all the way to London and took the revenge for it. So they
mm,
know that they did 1984, and there were two prime ministers had been killed as a
mm,
revenge. So they
mm.
know that who is going to stand up against them. They know it very well.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
can't see any sort of any resistance anywhere. Yeah, there are. You can see sporadic, kind of resistance around India. That is why there are 23 separatist movements going on, but none of them can match six.
yeah, yeah. No, we'll see how this thing ends, but yeah, but I think that's it was great. I think we should probably now wrap up, Aisha. We've had such a great discussion, and thank you so much for coming. And but before we end, I will definitely have you make a last word, any message you want to give. Plus, also you'll have to give me a promise. You'll have to come and talk about 71 Slaughterhouse as well. I have to watch it at least 6 times. I watched this documentary, I don't know, maybe 7 times, 8 times now. I know the entire plot. And
That's very nice.
yesterday we did a watch party. Like I invited a lot of people, and we sat through and watched the whole thing without
Oh,
taking.
that's nice. That's very nice.
I was like, no copyright permission has been taken from Aisha, but hopefully she'll just forgive us.
That's
We
very
just
nice.
yeah,
No, you
and
must watch 71 Slaughterhouse as well. That is something
yes,
something very different, that the kind of history that you have never learnt about. You will never read about it anywhere.
yeah, I'm going to watch it with the Bangladeshi friend. There are a lot of Bangladeshi who come on the Twitter, so I'm going to
That
invite
will be
them.
great. That will be
I'll-
great. And I would love to talk about it.
yeah, yeah. So before we end, Aisha, last word to you. What would you like to say to the audience before?
I would just want to advocate for Pakistan that, we are the people who, in very right time, very accurate time, who stood up with the idea of two nation theory. And that is the only thing that challenges Hindutva. Two nation theory, I'll repeat it. Two nation theory is the only ideology that challenges Hindutva, because Hindutva works on unifying everything, unifying everything. So it's just one religion, it's just one culture, one people. So just forget who you are, and you are us. So you just come in the bounds of this. So two nation theory was the only ideology that stood up in the right time, and they said no, no unification. We are not one. We are two. We are separate.
Yeah,
And this is the kind of awakening I want to advocate in every other community, that if we want to exist, you have to believe in two nation theory. No, we exist and we are separate. We have our distinct ideology, we have our distinct religion, and we want to exist with our own ideology and our own identity. We are not one.
yeah. The excellent Aisha. With that thought, I'll also remind you, like the great man Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. There's a book, written by a American journalist Beverly Nichols. He came to India in 1944, and he wrote that book. It's called Verdict on India. The PDF is available. I'll send you that. And there's a chapter with his conversation with Jinnah Sahab. It is called Dialogue with a Giant. And the dialogue with the giant, they basically discuss this aspect of nationalism, and that is where they both agree. India is not even two nations. India is 20 nations. And
Yes,
Nasab said they want to make it one. I make it at least two. And
yes.
so so absolutely right. So thank you so much, Aisha. With that, I hope people read, see more of your work. Your work is also, before we go, it is on your website, I Resist. Can you talk about the website? What is the
Yeah,
address?
it's iresistglobal.org.
iresistglobal.org. Like, people, please go watch it.
Yeah,
um,
it's there, and it's on iResist YouTube as well.
I this YouTube as well. Yes, you can read thousands of books, and you will still not get anywhere. You'll probably get misguided, gaslighted by some of the work written by some of the Indian authors. If you really want to understand subcontinental history, what's going on, and the contemporary issues, I highly recommend Aisha's work. Please go watch it, especially even the Western intellectuals. If you don't want to be gaslighted into Indo-Pacific strategy and all that, think tanks, all these overpaid, uninformed, disinformed think tanks, please watch what this lady is doing. Please watch her work. Okay, if you understand what you're dealing with. And with that, Aisha, thank you so much. Salam, Sat
Thank
Sri
you so
Akal.
much. Thank you, Islam.